Right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Over Beer. And today I have a special guest, a three-peat. That's right. This is her third time. She hasn't learned her lesson, so three times the charm. A good friend of
Yeah,
mine, a good friend of the show, Tara Tinsley. Tara, how are you?
I am doing great. It's a beautiful day here. It actually, in Texas, it's always so hot. And finally, today it's 72. That's amazing.
Wow.
So I'm doing great. I'm in a sweatshirt right now. Like, that's weird. I know
It's
I'm wearing a sweatshirt when it's 72, but it's okay.
But is it humid?
No, it's actually pretty dry today. But yeah, in Texas, usually it can
Yeah.
be humid and hot.
It was pretty humid here in Wisco yesterday. It was nice. It was like 75, and for like mid-October,
Oh,
that's pretty rad. But
that's
like I
awesome.
was telling you before, it does a number on my allergies.
Yeah.
And then it rained last night, so now it's cooler, but it lifted all the stuff up that was in the air, and now I'm just a mess. But
Uh,
whatever.
yeah. You're just making
But
excuses
whatever.
for the fact that you're just making excuses for the fact that you really have just been crying all day and you're just like, oh, this is why I sound this way. I swear.
What's new with you? What's going on in your life?
I oh my, there's so many things. I think
Oh,
I could.
first, I'm sorry, I got a beer. I do have a beer, and I got new koozies. I should send you
Oh,
some of these.
you should probably do that.
Yeah. So I got new koozies. I got this one, and then I got this one with both Washington and Wisconsin.
Oh, that's cool. I love
Isn't that
that.
cool?
Is
But
beer in Wisconsin better or is Washington beer better? I've been to both
yeah,
places and
yes. I
I'm
mean,
curious.
with Washington beer is so much better, and it's no fault of Wisconsin people. Like they
Yeah.
try their best, but the best hops is in the Yakima Valley,
Yeah,
and
that's
nobody knows
true.
why. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah. Same with
Anyway.
Texas. Washington was better when I lived there. It's like here it's like no offense to Texas, but
Right.
you know, we all have the things we're good at and like
You
Washington
got
is
the
pretty good
brisket.
at it.
You got great
Yes.
brisket. You got
Yes.
great barbecue.
Yeah.
Your
Tacos.
state is huge.
Yes, it's huge. Like and everything is bigger in Texas. That's what they pride themselves on.
Yeah.
And they're pretty I mean, everyone here is pretty fun. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Most
So you
most
lived
people
there for how long now?
since 2019. So what year is it? 6
Oh, you
years.
were there pre-COVID,
Yeah. Yep.
and you were
Right
in
before
California before that, right?
Washington.
Washington. Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
Right before. Yeah. People here are like, you didn't move here from California, did you? I'm like, because I have a California number still. They're like, no, I actually moved from Washington. Is that better or worse? I don't know.
So, you're still kind of singing. So people who don't know you, Tara, what how did we kind of meet? We met because you were doing some, I still don't remember. Anyways,
If it's meant to be remembered, it will be.
exactly.
Obviously, it wasn't very memorable to
Yeah,
hear
that's brutal. Anyways, you're a great singer, and I really enjoy your singing, but you kind of are doing something new now, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm still doing music.
Right.
I'm like kind of veering with that a bit. I feel like for a few years, I felt like God is calling me to speak. And I even talked to you about that last time, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so afraid, um, but I've been doing Toastmasters and
Oh, good for you.
Toastmasters. Yeah. Uh, and I feel like it's evolving into doing speaking and music together. And I actually got booked for my first speaking gigs next year for some women's conferences and basically mixing worship and the word, basically, and doing a creative twist on what they usually do at women's conferences where they do worship and then they, have a speaker and then they do worship again. I I'm creating this thing where I'm integrating it throughout that goes along with what I'm saying. So it's kind of like this fully just music and word and all just
Hmm.
together in this melange.
So has that changed your view on what success looks like, joining Toastmasters and doing this new thing?
It's changed kind of what it's changed kind of what my life looks like, I guess.
Oh.
Success ebbs and flows, right?
Hmm.
But my goal isn't necessarily success. It's just, I guess it has been in the past, especially when I was a teenager. And success could mean, money or popularity or whatever. But the more I grow as a person, the less that stuff really matters. And I feel like God is calling me to help change lives, and
Hmm.
I think that's God's idea of success. And so that's, I guess, mine as well.
How has your faith evolved throughout your seasons? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It- has it evolved? Has it like talk about that part?
Well, I think my idea of what faith is has changed because I don't think I really even knew what it was when I was younger. I was told what it was, but I grew up in a church that was very scripted and very, work spaced, and you're always the harsh wrath of God is,
Yeah.
upon you. And so, in a way, besides that, me and God kind of had this good thing going besides, what they were telling me at church. But
Hmm.
faith kind of seemed a little scary back then. And
Mm.
I was thinking, God doesn't seem that scary to me, although I don't know. But throughout my years in that church, a lot of it didn't make sense to me. So I told my mom when I was 14, I'm done with all of that because it doesn't make sense to
Wow,
me.
at 14?
Yeah.
What
And
was her
so
response?
she was very mad at me.
I bet.
And I told her I can be with God anywhere. I don't need church to like have a relationship with God because that's kind of what that church was. You needed, an interceder for you. And I was like, I already talked to God. We already have this great relationship. And I didn't even realize that was actually praying. When you talk to God, just, what's up, man? I didn't realize that was praying till later. But, my mom was very upset with that. But I don't know, God had a hold on me in a different way. And I'm so glad he did because he showed me over the years who he really is. And, you know, to have, I think what he wants more than anything isn't religion. It's obvious if you read the Bible, he wants a relationship. And
Hmm.
so faith has evolved from people telling me like this is what you need to do, this is what whatever, and it's like that's not really faith, it's just following what someone says, to really finding what I believe and really confirming that with the word. And moving forward in faith to
Yeah.
see and test if that is true, and learning along the way. But faith also is a fruit of the spirit, and it only grows with being challenged. And so asking God for more faith, that's going to put you in situations where your faith needs to be tested. And it's it's amazing when you choose God over the all the other reactions that you could have when something bad happens, how much better and more joyful even the hardest experiences can be when you
Mm,
actually practice that faith. So
mm,
it's evolved because I'm actually like practicing, you know? So
yeah.
it's older, and I actually know what it is now more than anything.
Yeah. Do you still feel um pulled in different directions?
No. Well, yeah, I mean people try to pull you, and things try to come against you, but I might feel pulled, but I don't feel swayed, if that makes sense.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like, what do you do when you feel that way? Like you're getting pulled in all different directions to kind of center yourself.
There's a lot of things. Sometimes all you can do is just say, Jesus.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're awake in the middle of the night because you just cannot sleep because, all like the worry of the world. I grew up a warrior, and I still contend to like go back to that. And you just have to recenter yourself in some way, and all of the above. Music more than anything helps me. Obviously, I'm a musician, and I just communicate so much better with music, and I feel through music, and just listening to music has always been a huge part of it. And actually, I just realized the other day something. When I was growing up, and even when I was older, I'd go to music for like for hard times, for good times too. But I remember whenever I would feel sad, I'd play super sad songs and just sulk in that sadness. And it was enjoyable. It was really
Hmm.
enjoyable to listen to a song that really spoke to me in my sadness or whatever I was feeling. But it's now, since I've grown so much, I I don't even enjoy sad songs anymore. Even when I am sad, and I go to the worship songs, and I go to those songs that get me closer to God, because I don't, even though it is enjoyable to know that someone is sad and it's this music that's getting you, that's so sad. God doesn't want you to stay there. And it's so easy to stay there when worship in it, with listening to it over and over again, and sulking in it, and staying in it, and stewing over it. Life is so much more enjoyable, even in the sadness, to like be lifted out and use music to do that. And there are worship songs that meet you in your sadness and just pull you
Hmm.
out, and just give you the energy for the next day or the next hour or the next minute to keep moving forward. And it just gives you that reconnection with God that you feel like you're lacking because of the situation, even though you never lack a connection with Him, if you choose to not have a lack of connection with Him.
Where do you see faith like really, really make itself known in your creative world?
I feel like God speaks to me all the time in different ways, and creatively, um, He gives me ideas all the time that I couldn't have come up with on my own. I mean, maybe if I really tried and I really thought about it, but I find the less I really try and the more I just let him speak to me, the best ideas I come up with, because they're not completely my own.
Hmm.
And the more I listen, the more I hear. And in a busy, crazy world where you're scrolling and rushing and, just achieving and whatever else you could be doing, it's hard to hear that unless you really focus on that, or just quiet yourself, quiet your life, stop letting the world be so loud, especially on social media or politics or the TV or whatever it is, Netflix. And so I find that the more I do that sort of stuff and just kind of quiet everything, he goes, boom, like here, this is a great idea. And or oh, I need to add that in here, or some really cool just quote that I'm like, oh, that's just like a mic dropper, you know? Maybe I just think it's a mic dropper, but we'll have to test that, you know. But it's it's really cool. It's
I'm so glad we're
way
talking about.
I used to have
I'm
to.
really glad we're
Yes,
talking about faith because it's come up so many times, and I don't know. Maybe you could answer this question, but I truly believe there's a movement, specifically
yes,
within the Christian uh, faith, and because it's come up
yes,
so many times with other people that I wouldn't expect to have the conversation around, even having the conversation. Do you
yeah.
think there's a movement?
I think God is always on the move for sure. But I definitely feel like, especially over the last maybe month or so, there's been a bigger movement. I feel like when someone is bold enough to step out in faith, it encourages others. And when the evil people try to silence others that are stepping out in faith, it emboldens people too. I think a lot of people think, oh, if you silence someone, oh, they're going to be afraid. But there's a crazy thing about God where God, you don't have anything to be afraid of
Mm,
if there's God. What can mere man do to me? You know, the Bible says, if I have
mm.
God. So if God is with me, what can mere man do to me? So
Wow.
I think I think there is. I really do. And but it ebbs and flows because a lot of people lost God during COVID. You know, a lot of people not necessarily lost him, but were just like, ugh, put this aside. Oh, let's keep the liquor stores open but close the churches, you know, and people really had a hard time. And it's hard when you go through a really long period of suffering to
Mm.
continue to decide to make the right choices, especially when you feel so alone and isolated. But now it's changing. People are like, I'm done with that.
Yeah, and I think it's I talked about this before, but I read a really weird, not weird, but a very eye-opening like study or statistic. Books alone, like just regular books, have been going down in sales. However, Bible sales have gone up like 60 some or 70 some percent or something like that.
Amazing.
It's something like that. I don't have the exact, but it's
Yeah,
like that. Where book sales have gone down, Bible sales have gone up.
that's awesome.
So, I think this is my thought. I'll get your opinion, but I think you're on the. I think there's an awakening because they're getting tired of not being able to do it on their own. That a man can't fix or a human can't fix something higher than themselves. I think COVID taught a lot of people that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. And none of us could do anything about that either, you know, none of
Hmm.
us. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. And I think it's true. I mean, you'd pray that some people would get to that point in their lives too, where, well, I heard a pastor once say, famous people, you know, like these famous people that, you know, take their own life, and how they've interviewed different people that have, you know, had nothing and then had everything. And they basically, when before they're famous, before they're rich, before they're powerful, before they're known, that's all they want, right? It's like, oh, I'm working towards that. I'm working towards that. I'm working towards that. And not everybody, because some people just get it out of nowhere. But a lot of people work for it, work towards it, pursue it. And then they're like, then I will be happy. When I have the money, when I have the power, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, acting or singing, or even if you're just, you know, owning a hardware store down the street. You know what I mean? Anybody could want money, could want power, could want control, could want whatever it is. When I own this business or when I do that, I will be happy. Then I will be happy. But then when they get to that point where they have that success, no matter what it is, they're still them.
Mm,
So the real issue is why they're still not happy is like, oh, I thought I was going to be happy if I had all these things, but happiness isn't in these things. I thought that it was. What do? Well, a lot of them get really depressed and take their own life because they're like, well, what is there? Because you get shocked,
yeah.
like you have everything and you take your own life. That's crazy. But if you don't have God, you have nothing. And if you're still you and you don't like you and you're not happy with you, if you're not happy with nothing, how you'll never be happy with everything
Mm,
because you follow you wherever you go.
that's really well put. I like that.
And I think some people just get sick of it and then they want a solution that doesn't involve taking their own life
Yeah.
or doesn't involve like a complete redirection in some crazy way or you know, revamp of their life or whatever it is. And it's like, I'm going to go move to Australia or something, just something that's like, okay, what actually will work for me,
Yeah.
instead of just the temporary fix.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna move to Australia. Have you seen those spiders?
Oh, everything. Ugh. I mean,
Yeah,
I live in
everything.
Texas and they have crazy spiders here. I can't imagine theirs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got some crazy spiders down there and snakes and stuff, but yeah, it's different level in Australia.
Interesting.
Um, let's keep going, but
Okay.
let's transition to your new venture as in the farm. Like
Okay.
are you a farmer now? Are you like Green Acres?
Yeah, I'm Green Acres. Acres.
What made you decide to do this? Like, what made you decide to actually? Because I know you had a farm previous before you moved, right?
Well, kinda. It was I had a third of an acre, but I had 9 chickens and a small little garden. So it was the beginning of a farm. That's for sure. It was a mini farm, a mini.
What made you decide to go all in on a farm life, though?
Um, Two reasons.
Okay.
One because I'm crazy, and
Well, that goes without saying, Tara.
and two, um, I just want to. They say know your farmer. And
Yeah.
the food industry is so messed up, and I've
Oh, big time.
learned about it for years and years and years. I mean, my mom came home one day when I was younger, and probably I was still in high school, and my mom came home one day and started throwing away the bread and throwing away the milk, and I was like, I just started liking bread, but yes, I hate milk, and just completely changed the way we ate because my brother was really, really sick, and this doctor opened our eyes to like the way we were eating, the typical American diet and processed foods and whatever.
Hmm.
So that was the beginning, and then just this crazy long journey of the more I educate myself in the food industry, and there's things you don't even want to know, okay, that I
Oh
learned that you
yeah.
just should not even know because it's absolutely disgusting, even with actual produce, even organic stuff,
Yeah.
that I just wanted to be able to know my farmer, and what better farmer to be than myself, right? Because I will know from the beginning to the end what has happened with these things, or and getting involved with other people who are doing the same things, and knowing your food and where it's come from. And so I just wanted to, and also knowing how animals are treated as well. I'm not going to go all out and be crazy and become vegan. No offense to vegans, I don't think you're crazy, but for me, I feel like that would be crazy for me because I need meat to
Yeah.
be happy. Otherwise, I get
Hmm.
hangry. I get hangry. But to be able to know, you know, that these animals have been treated well their whole entire life because I was the one who had a hand in that, and to just see some of these, just alone, these chicken farms where they're just laying eggs, they're not even butchering the chickens, they're just laying eggs, and just to see in their living conditions, and then just looking at my chickens and now their living conditions, and be able to say I can control and support that, and not
Mm.
you know the poor living conditions and whatever else of these animals, and just give them a good life because I love animals. I really do. And they also taste good. So I want to love them their whole life and then enjoy them, if you know what I mean.
I know
But
what you mean.
because
I know what you mean.
because some people get really on farmers though, like some vegans and vegetarians get on farmers, like you're I can't believe you could like kill something that you raise, that you love, that you know. And it's like, but it's okay for someone, and I know the vegans and vegetarians don't think it's okay, but other people get crazy about this. But it's okay for you to just go to the grocery store and support the terrible treatment of chickens. Like if I was going to kill my chicken will have a great life running around eating bugs and no cares in the world. That same chicken would live the same amount of time somewhere else, but also be in have a terrible life.
Yeah. I remember I'm not a vegan by any stretch, but I have become more aware,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to meat. And have you seen some of the stuff? I mean, you don't want to talk about it, but I will. Some of the stuff that's coming out that are in some of the food that we eat, like hot dogs. Like, have you seen that?
Yeah. It's gross.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Mhm.
You're right. I'm not gonna mention it, but
Just read the labels, people. But even then, sometimes they're not on the
they're
label.
not right. Yeah, and the cinnamon, what they found in some cinnamon, like that's the scary part because I want to say like metal. They found like aluminum shavings in some cinnamon, and not
That's
just
fun.
one type, like three or four different brands, and that's cinnamon.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I could tell you some things that you would be super grossed out about, but
Ugh.
everybody would want to throw up. I was just like, okay, why not from the beginning to the end? Just, and
Be
I
a part
can't
of it.
raise
Yeah, I get it. I
everything,
totally
but
understand it. Yeah.
yeah, but I can't raise everything, but I can do as much as I can. Like, and Texas is a harsh climate in a way because it's really hot here.
Hmm.
But what's cool is if you just learn how to work it a little bit with any climate, you can do a lot. And
Yeah.
raising animals too, like raising animals is pretty great here because there's no harsh winter, except the summer is pretty
Yeah.
not fun. But
So what do you all have now? Chickens, right?
yeah, and we got more baby chicks, and so stocking up on those eggs, and then we have we have sheep. So we're
Nice.
starting. So we're starting with grass-fed sheep as our next venture, besides the chickens, because they're easier than cows. They're a little bit more high maintenance than cows, but they're smaller. Cows can be more high
Well,
maintenance.
okay, wait a minute. So sheep are they more high maintenance? Like they're divas or something? Like what?
Yeah, yeah. Like they have to have their nails painted and they have to go to the spa.
Hey girl.
Yeah. Like, ugh. Yeah, I know. They're always staring in the mirror. It's just ridiculous. Cows are like, it doesn't matter what I look like. It's not that well, I look good. But
So like
but
what do you
yeah.
mean they're more high maintenance? Like in what way?
Well, I guess the sheep I purchased, they're not as high maintenance as most sheep because they're hair sheep, but wool sheep are high maintenance just because you have to shear them. So
Ah,
you have to shear them, especially in Texas because it's so hot here.
ah.
So and they're not really great for this climate. So I got hair sheep, which are so similar to goats, like the way even their digestive system, like they can handle more. They're not as
Hair sheep. I'm gonna look that up.
yeah. So the breed I have are St. Croix sheep. They're originated on the islands of St. Croix, and the St. Croix is hot and it has a bunch of different vegetation. So these sheep, were
Oh, they look like
raised.
goats. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're cute. So they do look like goats, but they're not as big of escape artists or yeah, yeah. They're my cuties are so cute. They actually kind of freak me out though if I ever saw them in the middle of the night and they were just staring at me. I don't know, because they'll just look at me at the same time, and yeah. So they're a little creepy looking
Hey,
in a
lady.
way.
Hey, lady.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
They're always like, "Meh." Like, okay, I don't know what that means, but yeah. But they're breeding them is easier than cows too.
Okay.
So they're more high maintenance in a way because of the shearing, but they're not sheep you shear. So I love that. So that's the main reason. But they're easier than cows though, and they're more beginner friendly because when a cow gives birth, if the calf gets stuck, you need a crane or something. But but if a sheep gets stuck, well, most of the time they don't get stuck as often, but it's not as big of a deal because they're not as heavy. They're not. It's not as. It's just a smaller scale to start with before if we ever venture down the cow area.
I get it.
You need different equipment for
So,
cows.
yeah. And that's a different, I mean, in Wisconsin, cows are a thing. And so I get, the farmers up here, it's nonstop. It's every
Yeah.
day. You take no days off.
No, especially if you have dairy cows.
Oh,
If you're milking, it's 365 days a year.
yeah.
So that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's why I
Hmm.
would never be a farmer. No offense to farming. I just know myself.
Yeah. Well, you just have to pick what works for you,
I could
because,
be a hop farmer, right? As
yeah,
grow
there you
hops.
go. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even that's difficult because it's not a good climate to grow hops.
No, you'd have to move.
Yeah. Back to the, whatever. Um, so what else? Any other animals?
Yeah, well, we have two livestock guardian dogs because we have a lot of they're puppies right now, so I'm training them. I'm training myself to train them because I've never done this before. And we have a cat, but that's a cat for killing the mice, which actually he's done a really great job at. And yeah, I don't know. Don't worry, we're not eating the mice.
Did you know, and this is really on brand, but did you know that the first, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but because you said cat. So did you know that the first real beer, like brewers, were women, and they were called witches because they make this potion. And so they would have a black cat around to keep the mice away from the grains and stuff that they would use to make these beer basically is beer. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's hilarious. Is that
Yeah.
why the black cat thing? Sorry, there's a bug. Ah,
And the
that's right.
broom,
Is that
the
why the
broom was there because they would use the broom to cool down the fire and to spread the fire. I'm serious. It's crazy.
so witches didn't originate from an evil
No,
thing?
they just made beer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Where'd the name witches come from though?
I
Like
don't know. That's like that's I don't know. That's a good question.
maybe it was a nice way of because maybe they were really like change the W to a B, you know what I mean? And then, but they're like, oh, trying to be nice. Like, let's just change it so we can say this in public around our children.
Tara, oh my goodness. I miss you.
I miss you too. It's fun.
We have never met in person either, except for that maybe
No.
that one time that we thought we might have met back in wherever that was.
The one time we don't remember, so it might never have happened, but
I don't remember. Uh, um, okay, so are you when it comes to your farming now, you have your own like page, like Facebook page and stuff. So are you looking to sell stuff to the
yeah.
masses, like to the local community?
Yeah. So right now we're doing just whatever's growing. So right now I have some herbs available, some uh, basil, mint, things like that, and also cookies because I've always loved making cookies, and they're made with pasture raised eggs and grass fed
Ooh,
butter.
ooh.
And yeah, so I do that, but it's because of Texas laws, and well, actually, it's really the FDA. FTA laws.
So,
Um,
you know,
they don't allow you to ship out of state lines. So
so it's not just Texas, it's pretty much the
yeah,
federal government.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
the
Texas,
FDA.
the FDA. Uh, but really, though, Texas actually just, I think they are about to make the cottage food laws, which is like when you make stuff out of your home kitchen. They're changing that to be more lenient because right now in Texas, you're not even allowed to ship within the state. One of the
Oh,
transactions has to
really?
be in person. So you they either have to give you money in person and then you ship, or they pay online or whatever, and then you give it to them in person. Either way, one of the transactions has to be in person to be legal. But they're trying to change that. And I think they're voting on it in now. Oh shoot, I better go vote. But they're voting on that. I think starting tomorrow that to open that up to at least be able to ship within the state. That none of the transact or right or I think still one of the transactions have to be. No, I think none of them. I
And
don't
is that
remember.
only with food? Is that only with like,
It's with yes, just with stuff that wasn't produced in a commercial kitchen because the FDA regulates commercial kitchens, and so if you don't have a commercial kitchen, then you cannot ship. You have a lot more rules, you know, because the FDA inspects those commercial kitchens or whatever. So it's so if you're just like a home business, there's a lot more, you know, restrictions,
I get it.
unfortunately, but it makes sense. But a lot of people break the rules just for fun, but I think
I
that
mean,
wouldn't be fun if you couldn't do it anymore, though, if you
and I'm
got
sure a lot
caught.
of these commercial kitchens break the rules too. They just don't.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and you just don't want to lose your business over it. It's not really worth it, you know.
No.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, I want your cookies," and they're all in different states, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I totally wish I could, but you live in a different state. So, but yeah, we're trying to do a lot of local stuff, basically. Long story short, we're going to do a lot of local stuff and do local events. And I have a lot of really great ideas to bring people here. And the main goal, too, is not just, oh, you know, better food for ourselves. It's better food if we can, you know, be successful, better food for others, and also developing community and building awareness.
Yeah.
And also, you know, we have sheep, we have fig trees. I just bought an olive tree. You know, there's a lot of amazing things that I could demonstrate like God's goodness through what we have. And it's amazing how much you can see, you know, for example, David, who wrote the Psalms, you know, and he was a shepherd, and how much you can see when you have sheep, what he was talking about, and to actually visually be able to see that. It's
Hmm.
really cool. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. What's been the most unexpected thing about owning a farm or what you have? What's been unexpected?
Unexpected.
Good or bad?
Just how I never have to go to the gym again. Just because it's so much physical work, you know, like physical everything that I literally thought, "Oh yeah, I'm going to work out and then I'm going to do this or that." It's like, "No, I can't work out. I'm so sore and so, which is great. It's that's an unexpected bad thing. So it's like, oh, this is a lot, but it's also an unexpected good thing because I used to struggle getting 5,000 steps a day at my old house, and now I get over 10,000 steps a day. I don't even mean to. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
That
pretty
is
cool.
that is pretty cool. Holy.
Yeah. And just working in the garden and like just like the physical labor, you know, the thing is too, it really helps you appreciate food in general too. Like you're appreciating it obviously, but when it comes to your plate when you get out of the grocery store, you don't really realize what goes into all of that. And a lot of farmers are treated very terribly and not paid enough, and you know, a lot of subsidies and whatever, all this drama, political stuff.
Hmm.
And you know, when you actually do some things for yourself, it just brings it more to the front of your mind how, you know, for us it's so easy to go to the store and grab something, but what did it take for that to get there? And a lot of people forget that, or they don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I really think um, supporting your local farmer is imperative. Um,
Yes.
and I think what you're doing is great because Because I think you said you want to educate too, right? You want to educate people on how the process goes, and I dig that.
Yeah.
And more people should pay attention to that stuff. I really, I'm not just saying that either. I mean, like for real, people need to um, pay attention to what they eat and talk to farmers and get an idea of what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. Because you can't live without food, you know? You
No,
really can't.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what else you want to talk about? I got a bunch of questions for you.
All right.
You want to talk about the world?
Let's talk about the world.
I probably know your answer, but what gives you hope in the
What?
world right now? Like, what gives you hope that the world is in a good place right now?
You know what's funny is a lot of people look at the world and like, oh, like why would I bring a kid into this world? It's like such a terrible world. But what generation hasn't been able to say that, you know? Like really,
Hmm.
it's always been a terrible world. And what gives me hope in this world is something that isn't in this world. You know, it's the creator of this world. And there are people though, like there are people that really live like that though, that also like help my hope grow for mankind, because sometimes you can look, if you look at it the wrong way, you could think the world's just going to hell in a
Hmm.
handbasket or whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
But if you look and you open your eyes a little bit, you'll see there's still a lot of good people out there fighting the good fight, and that's inspiring, and that inspires like just hope for people. I don't really have much hope in the world, because if I did, then I think my hope would turn out to be dust, you know? It would just fly away with the wind. But seeing how people that place their hope in Jesus and how they live their lives and they are how they care about other people and how they don't leave them behind no matter how far gone they seem, it's just it really gives me hope that people can be saved, you know.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's a little scary out there, but
So let's go there. So let
all
let
right.
let's go on the opposite end. So what worries you most about where we're headed? And it doesn't have to be, it can be culturally, spiritually, environmentally. Like what worries you most?
I think I wouldn't say it worries me, but it bothers me. um it bothers me that certain people have so much power that they can just change things. Like we were just talking about the food industry, and you know, I get like the intentions behind certain things, like I get it, but I do feel like there's evil behind it as well. Like you might, it might seem like, for example, Bill Gates has good intentions, right? He's like beyond meat and let's grow lab grown meat. You want to feed people, but really that's I don't believe that's the solution. And I feel like deep down there is just this real just I want money, or there's some other sort of motivation. I don't know this guy personally. I've never talked to him, but the air about what he does and some of the things that he has said in speaking engagements like worries me. The fact that people like that are out there that don't really care about people, if people live or die. He's said things like that live,
Hmm.
and it's just people that don't care so much about people. They're, like they care so little about people that I don't even know what they really care about. I'm very confused about it. Is it money? Is it power? Is it just whatever it is? And the fact that they just can do whatever they want. And a lot of people believe that they're doing something good when I feel like there's ulterior motives, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And it's power. And it's not
Yeah.
just power, it's um and the thing that I always think about is I don't know if you think about this stuff, but I do. What were they promised?
Yeah.
Because it seems like a lot of people, you can call me crazy if you want, but I think they were told a lie about if they do this, they head this way, that they're going to have this in the afterlife. And I think and they won't find out until Judgment Day, until their day comes, that it was all a lie. And
Yeah.
that's what, to me, that is what I worry about are the souls that
Yeah.
we're losing by, you know, I don't know. That's just me.
Well, that's where prayer comes in, you know.
Hmm.
You just gotta pray for them and their salvation.
Hmm.
That's the only thing you can do. And nothing is gonna convince them. And you know, it's also free will is plays a huge role. And you know, no matter how much you want someone to go a certain way or be better or be a better person, or just you could see like so much light in their life if they just turned away from whatever darkness they were pursuing. At the end of the day, it's still free will. And like they could be literally given both choices, like, well, actually this dark thing gives me more pleasure. And that's it, you know? It's sad, but it's like, you know, it's just sad
It
that,
is sad. I
yeah,
know.
it's sad.
I guess it's less worry, it's more sad. That's a good
Yeah.
way of putting it. I don't
Yeah.
worry about, I mean, I worry about it, but it's not like I'm more disappointed and saddened by it.
Yeah. Me too. Especially because it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
The more people to open their mouths nowadays, like, it's just very sad. Even though we're laughing, it's very sad.
I know. It's I'm only laughing because there's a wife joke in there somewhere about me opening my mouth all the time. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
are you still talking, Ben? Like, yes, dear.
Close your mouth.
Um, so what can you kind of answered it with prayer, but what things can specifically artists, creators, um, I guess, or even everyday people uh, do to make the world a little lighter and especially in heavy times?
I think just being a light, you know, being salt and light. And there's a way we can contribute, you know, to all of the terribleness, you know, and bring people down and tell people it's okay to stay this way. It's okay. Let's just accept your truth. That's fine.
Mhm.
I'm just going to cater to you. Well, that might seem like it helps someone, but actually it does them a lot of harm. And I think telling the truth in love, whether it's creatively or personally or, you know, corporately, being able to tell people the truth, not decorated with a lot of fancy stuff just to make someone feel good, but direct and loving truth, I think would help so many people. A lot of people might not be willing to accept that because they love their truth, even though it's just technically an opinion, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But a lot of people appreciate the truth, and a lot of people don't hear it enough. And it's the truth in general, but also, you know, the truth, the way, the truth, and the life, you know?
Hmm.
So, and in this world full of what is true, things that are shared on social media, like, is this true? Is this true? You know, even our own news channels, both sides don't tell the truth, the 100%. I mean, they might still tell a few truths here and there, but they always are trying to fit their narrative.
Right.
And I think people are getting sick of that, or either people get feed into it and go, yeah, those people suck. And they feed into it. Or they're wise to it and go, all this is lies, or what, or maybe not all this is lies, but what is the truth? Because yeah, there's no way you're telling me 100% truth. All you want is, your commercial money or whatever, and you want people to keep watching and whatever it is. Let's just go hate. I'm gonna feed this hate with this. So
Hmm.
I think just love, less hate, and just being a good example to people, because people don't really have many of those in this world.
No, they don't. Why do you think people enjoy the hate?
I don't know if they enjoy it, but I think they,
Some people do. Nah,
well, some people might enjoy it.
some
Well,
people, and they might be a minority, but they're a loud
yeah,
minority.
that's true. Some people really seem like they get off on it.
And they lean into it.
I think it's because it feels powerful and they might have not felt powerful in their life. And so, how that whole from when you're a little kid, they say they feel they put you down just to bring themselves up. Well, it's just like that on steroids, you know? Like if you can hate these people and tell them they're wrong and I'm hate, 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 and you're right, you're up here, and then you can never be wrong either. I'm gonna hate you, I'll never listen to you. And the thing is, what if these people are right and you hate them?
Mm,
If you don't hate them, you might actually listen to them, and then you might actually realize you were wrong. So hate is good because you're never going to be wrong. You're never going to associate with people you hate and are different, and you're going to preach acceptance but never accept anybody, and you're going to be it's a lot of self-righteousness, I think, which is
uh,
very, very, like, seems like I'm not self-righteous because I care about you know this goal or this idea so much, and I'm such a great person, but really all it is self-righteousness.
yeah. Yep.
And it's just this feeling of none of people feel so powerless. And I feel like in COVID, especially, we felt powerless, right? So hate was a great way to feel like you're powerful. And then it just kept going.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
But the thing is, they don't realize that the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. So if you there has to be some sort of care in their hate. There has to be something, because if they did not give a crap about anyone else, they would just be indifferent.
Uh, yeah. You know what? And that's why as I get older, I talked about this yesterday. My fear isn't becoming as I get older, my fear isn't becoming like an angry old guy. My fear is becoming indifferent and like cynical
Yeah.
of everything. That's my fear.
Yeah.
And because I see that right now. That I do a lot of that. I'm just cynical about not everything, but a lot of things. And I don't want to
Yeah.
be that way
Yeah.
because I believe cynicism leads to indifference. Like I just
Yeah.
don't care anymore.
Yeah. And it's
That's
hard to
deep.
not be that way
I don't want to
because,
be that way.
yeah. Well, you just got to be, like they say the typical old man is like, "Meh, meh, meh, meh,"
Yeah.
and the typical old woman is like, like party with my friends, like, wee. And so, like, a lot of old women I run into are like that, like, oh, honey, just get yourself this or that. And then the men are like, ugh, people. So at
Yeah.
least like those men are either angry or they're indifferent. But either way, it seems like men go down that path for some reason. So you just gotta, instead of just make your goal to be like an old woman, instead of an old man. Even at the old folks' homes I play, like the old men, some old men are pretty happy actually, but there's a lot of old men sitting on the corner line. And then
Yeah.
the old women are like, oh, like chatting and just having the best time ever, gossiping or whatever they're doing. I don't know.
Like those old dudes on the Muppets on the theater,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, like those guys.
yeah, yep. And the old women are like
Uh,
Miss Piggy.
I don't want to be that way.
Well, then
I don't.
don't.
I know. Then I won't. I
But
won't be that.
you're the fact that you're aware,
I
is
know. And honestly, my kids won't allow me to be that way. They
yeah.
just won't do it.
Yeah, but this is a world where it's like it's hard to not be that way just because that's kind of like the way we give up, you know,
Mm,
become indifferent. Because the haters, well, at least they have some fire about them, even though if they're hating. But like once you give up on whatever you're fighting for, that's when you become indifferent.
yeah. I want to switch gears. I want to go back to your Toastmasters and to what that looks like for you
Okay.
personally in your career.
Hmm.
So, what made you decide? And by the way, I love the fact that you had the balls to do Toastmasters. If people don't know, it's if you want to take it to the next level, especially when it comes to speaking, you join Toastmasters, correct? Because they
Yeah.
make you stand up
Hmm.
and talk in front of everybody,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
So what made you get into that and how was that evolved into what you're going to do next?
So I just felt God pushing me to speak. He kept giving me ideas of things to say, and they weren't from me. And so it's like, okay, cool. He kept giving me good words. And it's like, all right, well, where's this going? So I kind of researched a little bit about speaking, and the algorithm attacked me with ads for different people selling their courses on speaking and stuff. And then I just didn't really see how that would help me though. And then through my research on Reddit and these people reviewing these courses, this person's like, well, why don't you just go to Toastmasters? And I'm like, what's that? And so I researched that and I found one right down the road. They're everywhere. It's international.
Yep.
And, the first two times I was supposed to go, I feel like whenever I'm supposed to do something and God wants me to do something, something happens to try to prevent me from doing it. That's why I know I'm supposed to do it. And so the first two times I was supposed to go, I just didn't. And the second time I was just nervous. It's hard to even go. I grew up really shy, and yeah, I sing and perform on stage, but speaking is another thing. And I know we talked about that before, how it's just easy for
Hmm.
me to perform, but not as easy for me to speak in front of
Yep.
people. There's something easier about music and hiding behind a guitar. And so then I texted my friend Lisa the second time I decided not to go last minute. And I told her, hey, will you come with me to Toastmasters next time? Because I really need to go. You only have to come with me once. I just need someone to like get me in there because I feel like God's leading me to do this and I need to actually do it. And so she's like, no way. That's been on my bucket list for years. And so she's been going with me we've been going since like February, every single week. And we've improved so much. And it's just, they really do make you get up there. And there's different ways that they do that. And we've been members since then. And I became a member that night, that right when we went, I became a member and started practicing and doing speeches and just really honing my skills. And they evaluate you after you do a prepared speech and you get to hear feedback because the evaluator does a speech about your speech in front of everyone. And it's really cool and it has really helped a lot. And I think, answering your question about how does it go into what I'm doing
Hmm.
is, well, I was feeling if God is calling me to speak, I need to be more comfortable with it. And Toastmasters is such a great place to practice. And I really feel like it's helped me so much that I am supposed to do this women's conference next year. Actually, I'm supposed to speak for this other women's event too. But, you know, for a extended period of time, something that would have made me like throw up or something before. But now I'm looking at it with excitement. Like I can't, and because I know what God wants me to say too, which is really cool. And it's the way I booked it was she reached out to me and she said, hey, we're looking for a worship leader for this conference. Are you available? And I said, yes. Also, I am a public speaker. Like, do you need a speaker? And she said, yes, we actually do, but we're waiting on hearing from someone. And I told her in my email, I have this, I'm working on this series where, you know, keeping your faith in the face of doubt, and, and it's integrating music with it and all this stuff. And she's like, that's cool. Well, I'll get back to you and let you know if that girl says no. And then she emailed me back right away and she said, wait a second. I never told you what our theme was. And your series that you said is like keeping faith in the face of doubt, that is our theme this year. She's like, okay, I really hope this works out. And then the next week she emailed me. She's like, yep, she can't do it. You're in. So she's like, I feel like God has put this together. And so that makes me confident too in moving forward, of those moments where I feel like God set this up. God gave me what to say. He set this up. She had the theme. I was already writing the theme before I even met her. It's just crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, my story has been a lot of that. It's been a lot of that. And that's why if you open your eyes, there's a lot of that's crazy, but not in like the, oh, that's crazy, like the hateful people, as we say. But it's more like, if you open your eyes even wider than what's just right outside your door or right on social media, you're going to see some crazy God stuff, and it's going to be awesome. Only if you pay attention.
Yeah. Man, my wife and I were just talking about that. Just
Yeah.
about how, people close their eyes and, you miss it sometimes,
Yeah.
and like, God puts stuff in front of you. You just got to be able to want to accept it and be willing to and be open to it.
Yeah. And that's when the magic happens,
Mm-hmm.
You have to be willing to take a step forward in faith to claim what he wants to give you, which
Mm-hmm.
is most likely better than anything you could have ever come up with on your own.
Amen.
Yeah.
Um, so when it comes to the creative part of what you're going to be speaking, are you going to be singing? Like, what are you going to be doing? What does this look like?
Okay. So you mean like what would it look like that
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So the story, I have a story. It's like obviously a long story because they want me to talk for and do music for a total of 2.5 hours that day. So I won't
Two
get
and a
into the
half
whole story right now.
hours? Not
Yeah.
in a row, like not at one
No.
time.
There's a morning session that's an hour and 15 minutes, and then an afternoon session that's an hour and 15 minutes, but that includes the music. So usually they say would have a worship leader, which they originally asked me to be,
Okay.
to do the worship before and after, which would be like 30 minutes and speaking for 45. So but I'm doing both of them and then integrating music. So yeah, a total of that amount of time, but music integrated. So what
Okay.
my idea, okay, this is my idea, is open up like with energy and like positive feeling, because I love that people are there to you know just have not necessarily have a good time, but yeah, a good time, but just really just be renewed and refreshed and whatever. So
Mhm.
I just, before we get, because we're gonna go like on a fun roller coaster, right? There's gonna be
Mhm.
ebbs and flows into it, but starting on a really high note and ending on a high note, and just um, starting with like some good music, of course, but then getting into my story because they need to know who I am. And my story is a lot of faith moments in it and a lot of crazy God moments in it. And so getting into like a 45-minute version of that, I guess, but integrated into it are songs that go with that moment, that feeling. Like, for example, there was a time where, gosh, what is that song? Oh, when I was telling you, I think when we were off camera, maybe, that we weren't going to have a place to live because we sold our house
Yeah.
and the other house
Yeah.
fell through. And the song that kept coming to me and that kept, ministering to me was that victory song, See a Victory. Like, I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord, or something like that. And so, like, when I'm getting into that story, because that is part of the story, uh, just getting a moment to pause in like uh, a tender moment of feeling like I'm going to be defeated. I can't sleep at night. I have my daughter, my animals, like our whole life. Like, where are we going to live, And that song, just pausing for a moment and just getting into that song together, and just in the moments, in the emotional moments of the speech, getting into the music that really takes us into that moment, because some people really do need to see a victory or really
Mm,
have seen a victory, so we can get into that and really inspire them. And then you know getting into the second session, getting into ways that eye-opening ways that we can grow our faith and keep our faith, and how, like, just basically, this is like my story. You might resonate with it. We all have a story. How do we apply this in our life? How do we move forward from here and just integrate the music into that to make it like more impactful? Have you watched Jamie Foxx's most recent comedy special on Netflix? So
no.
you should watch it, because it's really, he had like a health issue,
Yeah.
and he, through the
He
whole
almost
thing.
died.
Yes, and he talks about that story in it, and how, like, if it wasn't for God, like, it would, he wouldn't be here, and he just really got into faith on it, and how he did it. I would do it a little differently than this, but I asked God, okay, what how do you want me to do this? Okay. And then I watched that special, and then I was like, oh, that's how this creative musician self could do this, where Jamie Foxx integrated his story with music, with comedy in a way that just like, and he added the music at just the right times, because he wrote a song about it. And but I would add more music into it, just because, like, that's kind of the purpose. We want to worship and stuff. Than he did. He was just telling a story and doing his special. But if you watch that, you'll understand kind of my vision of it is just integrating music into it, and just not just like a speaking engagement.
Yeah. Yep. Um, almost done. Jeez. It's almost 3.
Well, we can get to us ladies can get to gabbing.
That's true. I'm an old lady though.
Well, that's good though, because you know how to have fun.
Um, so I want to know, but I guess lastly, but just overall, how do you how do you feel? And how do you feel about just everything right now? Just how do you feel, and what would be your, I don't want to say advice. What would be the one thing that people should take home? What's one thing you want to tell people just about anything, about the world, about whatever? What's one thing?
Okay. Well, how I feel
Yeah.
is, well, I have a lot going on, like, obviously, as I've told you. And there's so many things going on with farm, whatever. And so I feel like sometimes I feel like, wow, this is a lot. But then when I'm learning to just not make things so important. And even the things to do list, like the things to do list is like, but it's just like, you know what? If I can't get to that today, it's fine. Like, what do I really have to do? I really don't have to do anything. Like, literally, I don't have to do anything. You want to know why? Because it is finished. Like, Jesus has done everything that I really need to do. So all I really need to do, or really should do, is just do what he did, and listen to God in every moment. And what if God says, you know what, you need a break, then take a break. You don't need to accomplish all the things on your list. Like, what is that going to do for you? Sometimes it'll cause more stress. And sometimes, it really won't give you the satisfaction because there's always going to be things to do. No matter what
Mhm.
you do on your list, you're going to add more things. And so it's easy to get overwhelmed. So my feelings want to feel overwhelmed. I want to jump into that overwhelm. But at the same time, it's just like, I'm blessed though. Like, I think the way I'm feeling is something, the last thing like I would want to tell people is the world is overwhelming, and like the things to do list and the busyness and the rushing and all the things that we do, social media and all the things you feel like you have to do to keep up with the Joneses. But and all the enemies it seems like everybody has nowadays, no matter who you are. But to just realize how blessed you are and how thankful you are. And I know Thanksgiving's coming up, but that's not the only time of the year that we should be thankful, and just soak in what you do have. Because I think a lot of people forget that and we try to like get the next thing or the new thing or what this person has. And even if you had nothing, if you have God, you have everything. And He will bless you with things that you wouldn't even be able to imagine and that this world cannot give you. And yeah, that sounds like, mumbo jumbo to some people who don't really want to believe it. But once you actually dare to step in to that and dive into that, especially if you never read the Bible and think that Bible's crazy, but most likely it's because you haven't read it. If you are just willing to dip your toe in, all of a sudden you're going to be diving in. You won't believe it, and you will be cleansed with the most amazing water, and you'll be able to come out with the forget the beach. I don't want to stay on the beach anymore. I want to swim for the rest of my life. That's how amazing it is, and that's how blessed you can be. So I wouldn't I wouldn't delay, because it is sad, like we talked about, people, not being saved and living their lives in ways that is just so sad. And it's really grieves us because we know something and we've experienced something that a lot of people haven't. And we just want people to experience it too. Not because we're crazy or we want to control people, but because we love them, because Jesus
Mhm.
does.
Yeah. And there's something to be said when you know that we will never be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to that. And what I
Thank
mean
God
by
I
that
don't have to
is,
be.
yeah, exactly. Like, but like, there's something to that. And I think we're searching for, a lot of people are searching for perfection.
Yes.
And the one thing I've learned on my journey ever since I was baptized is like I need to be perfect. I need to like I need to be this way. I need to do this, and it's like it's impossible to be perfect. That's why Jesus was sent down. Like get that through your head, bro. Like that's the thing. Like I'm working on daily.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
It
hard.
is.
Yeah. But thank God you don't have to be perfect.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You
And
don't.
also, this world would be probably pretty boring with perfection everywhere,
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
there's actually a lot of times there's beauty in the imperfections. I know my sister's husband, he's a dentist, and a lot of dentists try to perfect your smile, but he says he loves like the uniqueness of people's smiles, and like
Yeah.
those imperfections are what makes them beautiful.
I love that.
And
That's really well
yeah,
put.
yeah,
I love
I love
that.
that too. And if you can find beauty in imperfection, well then you've you made it.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
yeah, because nothing's perfect. You can airbrush yourself all day long, but we see you in person.
Tara, it's awesome. Always talking to you.
Yeah.
Promote yourself.
Okay. This is why I hate speaking, because I have to talk about myself. um, yeah, if you guys want to find me, my music is at taratinsley.com, or, social media, Tara Tinsley, and also my farm, brackfamilyfarmstead.com, or on social media, brackfamilyfarmstead. And I actually do have a cookie recipe ebook coming out that anyone can have, even though I can't ship cookies. You can make what I make at home.
That's cool. You didn't tell me that.
I just remembered. I suck
You're
at promotion.
killing me. All right. Well, when the ebook comes out, we'll have to get you back on. When is that
Hey,
coming
Ben, I'm
out?
not perfect, okay? I'm not perfect. That should be okay.
When is that coming out?
October 24th.
Are you kidding me? All right. Start over. We're gonna start all over.
I just remembered. Yeah, I told you I'm doing too much, Ben. That's what my husband says. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. I'm like, well, yeah. When God tells me I'm doing too much, I'll let you know. But right now, I think I'm doing just enough. I have
Just enough.
gotten rid of some things in my life, but yeah.
Are you singing anymore or not really, or only for private things now?
Yeah, so I am doing private things, but I'm saying no a lot more, like so much more. So that's one thing I'm kind of in 2025, I'm kind of gauging, like, not gauging, I don't know, winding down. There you go. I'm winding down on those shows that are just shows. And I'm gearing up for 2026, which begins with the speaking and stuff, that. So I'm just preparing to kind of do a shift. And if for some reason, some good show opportunities come up, I'll say yes, but I've been saying no a lot and it feels really good. Just because I know that I have the next thing isn't that. And it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm just stepping out in faith, just walking forward one step at a time, not knowing what it's going to be like, but ready for anything.
The most liberating thing, and I'm still learning how to do this, is to say no and how to say no. There should be a course,
Yeah.
and there probably is a course, the art of saying no.
Yes. Yeah. Especially when you're a people pleaser.
Yeah,
Because no matter
I'm
what, whenever
totally
you
that
say
way.
no, when you're a people pleaser, it always feels terrible. It always feels like
You
you're doing
internal, I
anything.
internalize it.
Yeah. You gotta let it go.
I know. Let it go. All right.
Well, you
All
gotta
right.
sing. This
Huh?
is your turn. This is your chance.
To sing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love karaoke.
Yeah, see?
I'm not a I know we're gonna go, but I'm not gonna go yet. Have you ever seen your when I you're like you have like a Wikipedia and everything.
I do. I
That's
do.
yeah.
You've made it on Wikipedia. No, no, that's so funny because I was like,
Or
I
maybe
always,
not. Maybe you
I don't
don't.
feel like I do. So I was like, I wonder how you get on Wikipedia.
You know,
You're like, no, I don't read Wikipedia.
you should ask AI of who you are.
Yeah, who is Tara Tinsley?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
This is what AI on Google, because they just take everything
Oh,
from
okay.
you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. No, she's
Tara
not on Wikipedia.
Tinsley, Tara Tinsley is an American songwriter who draws comparisons to artists like Miranda Lambert and Blondie. She is known for her country rock style and has also ventured into Christian music.
Oh, there you go. That's
You have
true.
highlights of you and all that. Like they have like,
Cool.
look at that.
That's cool.
That's what I should have used for your
Yeah,
intro.
you should have, but oh well.
Yeah.
You're not perfect. It's fine.
But I'm trying to be.
Stop trying. Stop trying. You'll be happier if you stop.
Tara,
They say
Tara.
never give up. No, please give up.
You know, my goal is 2026 that we meet in person.
Okay,
We got
let's
to
do it.
make it happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Okay, we got to make it happen, and we do another podcast live.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Maybe at the Tinsley compound.
Yeah, the compound.
That'd
Watch
be
out! Watch out!
awesome.
Watch out! Trespassers may be shot.
I'll bring a sheep.
A sheep for a fatted calf for a sacrifice.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna go. Thank you so much. I really
Yeah,
appreciate you. You're awesome as
thanks. So are
usual.
you. So are you.
And yeah, thank you for all those who are watching, for all of you listening. We will see you all
Go
next time.
Yes.
You're